morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, February 16th, 2023, and we're here for a work session. As always, we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I think we should deviate wildly from the normal standard procedure, and I will say the pledge. How about that?
Nice.
All right.
I love it.
We're getting crazy. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay.
Excellent.
And we're just about a moment away from getting Supervisor Aguirre on the phone here, so she can attend the work session via speakerphone. And while we're waiting for her to connect, we'll jump right into our first discussion item. And we have Chief Hagermiller here today to discuss his January monthly report. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chief.
Good morning, Chief. February 16th and 60 degrees outside.
I know, we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it for
We
sure.
will take it.
No snow.
Supervisor Aguirre, can you hear us okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Chief Hagermiller's here. He's going to begin his recap of his January report. Take it away, Chief.
Thank you. Hopefully everyone got their email with the monthly report attached. I think we're in pretty good shape. Going over calls received, they're up. Mostly everything's up. Domestics are down, which is good. That's always a good thing. Motor vehicle accidents are way down, so we went from 181 in 22 to 108 in 23. Double check that number, and it appears to be correct. The only thing I could say is maybe we had 2 snowstorms in 2022, so maybe that's what brought it down to 108. Deer strikes, Councilman Kern, are down. Summons issued way up. Arraignments are up. Arrests, we had that issue, as I explained before, as far as the way it's counted. So basically, there were 110 people arrested, and some of those people had multiple charges, which brings the other number up to 130 arrest by number, because each one of those charges now has to get an arrest number. Criminal incidents are up, and non-criminal incidents are up. On the criminal incident side, basically, as said in my email, I think what accounts for the increase are criminal mischief complaints, petty larceny complaints, and identity theft complaints. Revenues are what they are. It's just depending on how the billing goes out, and the rest is by sector. Let's see. No overdoses for January, and we used Narcan on 2 subjects in January.
Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah, I've been getting some phone calls, Chief, from some concerned neighbors over in Timber Woods, over in Calverton.
Timber Park?
Timber Park, I'm
right.
sorry, yes. And they were concerned that the buses, the school buses in particular, are going mighty speedily through some of the areas, and that it's sort of a cut through to get from, I guess it's Fresh Pond to 25, so, and there are children in the neighborhood, and they were hoping that we could do something to take the speed limit from the existing 30 miles per hour down to 20, and I said I would check with you and that we would talk about it. I understand the concern with the kids, and the school buses, have to be in the neighborhood, but, is there anything we can do about that?
The only place you'll see a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit is basically in front of a school.
Okay.
The lowest we can go is 30 miles an hour, and we don't set that. It's the state that sets that. We have to do a TE9 with the state to get them to study the area and then propose the speed limit.
One of the people that I spoke to said that it was originally 20 and that it went up within his lifetime, or whatever the time frame was, to 30. So he was saying that maybe that's something that we could explore.
20 was probably incorrect.
Okay.
However, it got there.
Okay.
I would say it would be 30. I mean, even on my street where I live, it's 30 miles an hour. Anyone going 30 miles an hour on my street is going too fast.
Yep.
I mean, it's just not, you should just not be going that fast in the development. The school buses, on the other hand, I could speak to the transportation department. They are GPS monitored, so I'm sure no one in a school bus is speeding. So.
Okay. The one gentleman I spoke to, and I was really sort of sad, the story he told me is that one of his friends in that neighborhood actually got struck by a bus one time who was just mowing his lawn, and it killed him. So that's why he was very concerned. Terrible accident, and
Terrible
but I
accident.
understand.
I don't think that happened in my time. I don't remember that, so, yeah.
Anyway, the other issue that I get a lot of phone calls on, and we did have a fatality a couple of years ago, it was the corner of, or the intersection of Reeves and Horton. There are two stop signs going east and west, but the north-south on Horton does not. The fences there are very difficult to navigate. They sort of obstruct the vision of the passers, and you have to sort of inch out to look before you go. So I just wanted to bring that up, and hopefully there's something we can do in the future about that.
That is definitely on the radar. It's hard for me to understand why there's even an accident at that location, because if you get there and you inch up to the stop line or to where you can see without going into the roadway on Horton, you can see a mile each way. I mean, it's straight as could be.
And it's wide open after you
right.
get out of the view of the fences, yes.
We have oversized stop signs there already, but we are looking into some other devices that we
Okay, good, thank you, Chief.
So I just have questions on, so obviously the call volume was up, another 200 calls. How are we making out? We agreed on 7 new police officers. How are we making out?
We have interviews tomorrow, so hopefully they'll be productive, and then we're still waiting on applicant investigation to do. People we're interviewing tomorrow they're cleared as far as their background check goes. We're still waiting on applicant investigation, which Suffolk County handles that for us, for the other people on the list.
So we're moving many of our part-time officers to full-time, and then we also posted for
Hopefully.
new, yes.
That's
And
how
also
they do on their interview tomorrow, so.
Is there an academy class scheduled?
I think I heard September is the next one, so.
But then we're posting at the same time for new part-time officers, right? So we
Correct.
Keep them in.
Yeah, that's happening
sync
at the
as well.
same time. They're doing an orientation for the full-timers on our list that have to be background, and they're doing the part-time officers that we want to put into the academy in the fall. They're doing that same orientation, I think March 8th is that date.
Are you still taking applications for part-time police officers?
Up until March 3rd, I believe.
Okay, and they would contact HR here or the PD?
The application's online, so they can do it online, or they can go to HR, or go see Tammy over at
Okay.
headquarters, and just make sure that we have it, because I think they want applications on March 3rd.
Okay.
Of that applicant investigations.
More police are on the way.
Yes, and I think on the other half of that, the ones that still have to go through the background, we have a lot of candidates that are already police officers, so I think we'll be in good shape.
Excellent.
Good.
Great.
Thanks.
Supervisor, do you have anything you wanted to add to the discussion?
No, I think, yeah, I do. Just one quick point. I think by the summer, we should have most of these officers hired. It's a bit of a lengthy process. It's an applicant investigation process, and we can't really hire anyone. Actually, we can't hire anyone until we get the okay from them. But we do have the part-time police officers, and they don't have to go through the academy, so that's going to be good. And hopefully by the summer, we should have, a pretty substantial increase in our department. And thank you, Chief. I know we've been working on it, just trying to get all these officers, on the right path to make sure that we enhance for the summer. And we also, in the process of working on reducing crime on Main Street, there's a lot of initiative. I know Dawn Thomas and Tim Hubbard have been meeting with individuals. I have. I'm also on a different level. I'm meeting with elected officials to try to help us, whether it's dealing with the homeless and the jail, and so hopefully soon we'll be able to present our effort. And I know, Tim, you've been working. I think you had a meeting. Oh, you have a meeting today, an additional meeting today. Is that correct?
Yes, we have 2 meetings today, actually, Supervisor, and they've been very productive so far, and I agree with everything you said about we'll see some changes coming up for sure.
Yep. So once we have everything, we'll just present it at a work session, and Chief will have you there also. Okay?
Great.
Chief, I have a question for you, Chief. So, with bail reform, right, you got 110 arrests, 51 arraignments. What happens to the balance of those people
So they're released on appearance ticket.
on appearance
Right.
tickets? So, like 6 years ago, would that happen?
Yeah, no, that's happened in the past, definitely,
Okay.
on petty offenses and,
Just
low-level
curious.
offenses, people get released and get a court date when they have to come back and appear.
I'm just curious how bail reform has affected your department.
It's a hard thing to figure out exactly how that's affected. I mean, I would have to maybe dig up the numbers from years past and figure out if there
Okay.
is a difference in the ratio there. Also, we never see, and I say this all the time, we never see the people that are arrested in Southampton released and then come here and we arrest them, commit a crime here and then we arrest them. We don't know that
Right.
happens, so, and that could very well be happening.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Supervisor, you're all set?
I'm all set, thank you, Devin.
Okay, great. All right, Chief, thank you very much. But don't go anywhere, because we need you for the next item also. Don't go far, anyway. So the next item up for discussion is matters surrounding possible changes to Chapter 289-21, Parking Time Limited, and we'll ask Danielle Hurley, Deputy Town Attorney, to come forward and join us for this discussion. Good morning, Danielle.
Good morning, Danielle.
Danielle?
Good morning.
So I think everybody has a copy of the proposed change. It's also been posted online. But maybe you just want to take us through it.
Sure.
So Edwards Avenue from Sound Avenue to the terminus, the north terminus into the Long Island Sound. At the end is a parking by permit only lot, which I think is maybe 7 cars big. So we've seen an influx of people parking going up Edwards Avenue towards Sound Avenue. Everyone knows it's a narrow road, downhill narrow road, so allowing parking on both sides of the street would not be a recommendation that we would put forth. We would like to see no parking on basically what I call the north side or the east side of the street, northeast side, and then permit parking only on the southwest side. So, and that would be from, I think the permit goes from Meadow to
Beachway.
Beachway. So it goes basically almost all the way up the hill. Right before Silver Beach is Meadow, and then all the way down to the beach.
I live in that neighborhood, and you're 100% correct. It's very steep, but believe it or not, there are people walking on the road. It's very narrow, and it's very well treed, and it's windy. It's just, it's a disaster from all different angles. But I think that'll help to alleviate some of the problem.
And we've got a public hearing with this, so.
Yeah, and then hopefully this gets adopted, and if it does, we're planning on going down with Highway to address the signage to make sure that it's properly reflected.
The idea is to get this in place for the busy season, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Chief, we had already put something up on my road on Landing Lane, just by the corner there, no parking sign. That was a couple of years ago, in advance of what you're talking about now.
I think on the books right now is no parking on, right, Edward?
Yeah, so right now, according to the section of the code 289-10, on both sides of Edwards Avenue, from its intersection at Sound Avenue north to basically where it hits the Long Island Sound, you're not allowed to park on either side of the road, except as provided for in 289-21, which is the parking by permit statute.
Okay.
This is kind of related, but it's not. At beach committee meeting last night, Edwards Avenue Beach came up, and there were photos shown of debris that has been put down there on the rock wall, and there's some debris.
On the west
there's a-
side.
Yeah,
Right.
there's a lot of, like, concrete type debris that was never there before,
With,
so.
Right, rebar in it.
Yep, we've got to make sure, I believe they said the company was Laser, but I'm not 100% sure. Some work was being done down there. It looks like they're done with the work for a while, so, but there's concrete drainage pipe and other things
That
there.
was left behind?
Yeah, that was put in the row of rocks going down to the water, and it goes quite a ways down to the water. So I'm gonna have engineering go out there and take a look and see what they can find, but,
I mean, you know that's always been there. They've always had that issue there, so.
Yes.
Right.
yeah.
I always thought that
There
wall-
seems to be new debris
added
that's
to it?
there.
Okay.
I always thought that wall had a purpose for erosion mitigation, but I haven't seen that.
I would say that was probably not established by the town, would be my guess, but I don't know that for a fact.
Right. Okay.
We'll check it out.
Supervisor, do you have anything you need to add to this
No,
discussion?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. All right, everybody good? Okay. All
you.
right, thanks Danielle, thank you, Chief.
Thank you, thanks everybody.
Thank you, guys.
We're moving right along here this morning. Our next discussion item is matters surrounding a special permit application for 644 Roanoke Avenue. And I had inadvertently listed that as a site plan application, so Heather was good enough to point that out. We corrected that this morning. It's indeed a special permit. There are a couple of attachments that go along with this, and those are posted.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Heather. Good morning, Heather, take it away.
I have Kelly Bennett. She made the application on behalf of the owner.
Okay. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so this is a special permit application seeking approval to add an addition to an existing two-family dwelling within the professional business zoning use district. And per Town Code Chapter 301-222A, expansion of a pre-existing non-conforming use may be permitted by special permit of the town board. So that's why we're here today, just to introduce the application. Subject property identified as Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-126-4-3. It's a .17 acre parcel located at 644 Roanoke Avenue on the east side of the road. And the proposed action is considered a type 2 action pursuant to SECRA, as the application involves the construction or expansion of a two-family residence on an approved lot. The dwelling was issued a letter of pre-existing use in 1982 for a two-family residence and a two-car detached garage. And it's currently improved with that two-story, two-family dwelling, the detached garage, and the garage abuts Elton Place, so it's a through lot. Property is within the boundaries of the Town of Riverhead Sewer District and also the Town of Riverhead Water District. The site is accessed from an existing driveway on the east side of Roanoke Avenue, and it provides off-street parking for both dwelling units. So I did detail in my staff report the special permit criteria to be considered by the board. The proposed addition would not be significantly out of character for the surrounding area. They will, however, need relief from the Zoning Board of Appeals. Chapter 301-222E of the Town Code dictates that any increase in the degree of nonconformity of a pre-existing nonconforming structure is not permitted. So this rear addition represents an increase in the gross floor area within a required setback. So I don't know if you took a look at the site plan that was submitted with the special permit application. The closest setback is about 2 feet from the property line. The proposed addition is going to be in line with the rear of the house, so it's a 3.83 foot setback from the side property line. So they will need to apply to the Zoning Board of Appeals. I provided Kelly with a denial letter. She's working on that application.
What is the current square foot of the house as it stands now?
Per IPS, I believe it's 751 feet, give or take, on each floor. So it's two dwelling units. Total square footage is a little more than 1,500 square feet.
It's 715.4 square feet, first and second. And then the existing garage is 495, so almost 500 square feet on the garage.
And how many square feet are you looking to add?
We're looking to add 380, what is this, 388.9 to the
Per
first
unit.
floor and the second floor.
And is it just for bedrooms? There was no floor
It
plans
is just for
submitted?
additional bedrooms for each unit. So that's really the addition. It's about 16 by 20. As Heather stated, we're keeping it in line with the house. I'm here on behalf of both the architect and the homeowner, so it was his desire to, get some more bedrooms so he could, kind of rent to potentially, just more than one person or, a couple.
Yeah, I did ask Kim O'Connell in code enforcement because there were valid rental permits on the property from the prior owner, and she said based on the floor plans that they had submitted, first floor was 1 bedroom, 1 bath, second floor was 1 bedroom, 1 bath, basement is unfinished.
But there are permits in place.
There are permits that are current. I'm assuming, I looked at the records in IPS, the last time an inspection was made there was April of 2021, and it was unoccupied at that point. I'm assuming that that's when the sale of the property took place and that the current owner is looking to complete the addition and then provide updated floor plans and an updated rental permit. Rental permits don't transfer from prior owners to new owners, so he'll have to make a new rental permit application if the current rental permits are under the prior owner's name.
But the question is somebody renting it right now?
We believe it's unoccupied. I
Still
didn't even think
remains
to
unoccupied.
ask him. I was gonna pass by, because I've only seen the plans and the surveys and been in all the paperwork, so I was gonna go by, but Heather did mention it looks pretty
Yeah,
well
I went out and did a
unoccupied.
site inspection, there were no cars there, just the exterior light was on, it didn't look like there was
Yeah.
any, trash or,
Yeah, I drove
the
past it
garbage
too. I
cans.
saw the same. I wasn't sure if anybody was in it or not.
Yeah, and if you go back on the near maps aerials, over the past few months, no cars in the driveway at all.
So this will not be owner occupied.
No.
And is there any possibility that this could turn into a sober house or a rehab house?
Oh,
or-
no. No, that is not the intention. He really just wants to make the apartments nicer and, get a better tenant and a nicer floor plan.
Because we have more than our share of sober homes and rehab houses.
That
so-
is good to know, but that is absolutely
Can I
not the
say it?
intention.
Tim?
He's really just
Yep.
looking to, as he purchased it, fix it up and get some, 2 nice units. And
Supervisor, do you have something to add?
Yes, part of that effort that we're trying to work on downtown is, we've identified 9 sober houses, all within a very short period of time. So Tim, you bring up a good point. We cannot have any more sober homes on Main Street, near Main Street. I did speak to the county about it, and apparently they're gonna work with us. That they're the ones that designate it, so it's one of our efforts. So we gotta ensure that this does not become a sober home. It has all the makings of it becoming a sober home.
Per condition O, under the special permit criteria, the town board may impose conditions, so I mean, if that's something that everyone's concerned about.
And I know the owner would absolutely be 100% willing to agree to that condition to
I'd
ease
love
any
to see that then.
concerns.
Yes.
I would
Yeah, I
love to
agree.
see that, absolutely, and in
Yeah.
the future.
I don't know who the owner
Yeah.
is, but I don't take anybody's word anymore because they come in and sell us a bill of goods and then
Totally
down the road they go and do
understood,
what they
especially
wanna
with
do.
the bedroom count
Exactly,
being
and
the same.
especially if it's not owner occupied, obviously it's renting out. So again, okay, let's just go to the state. Let's just, and I think that should be a practice for the entire town from now on. When these type of requests come in, maybe have that kind of provision. So I totally support that. Thank you.
So, I'm trying to understand, are you looking to get 4 apartments out of it? Is it
No, two.
Only 2
Just
dwelling
2.
units.
Keeping the
Two
2,
bedroom
just
apartment.
increasing the bedroom count for each unit.
Is there enough parking? Right, you have a 2-car garage.
Yes. We have a
I thought-
2-car garage, and there's enough parking for 2 cars.
In
If
the
you look at the
driveway?
site plan in the driveway, and the driveway is also about 100 feet
Yeah.
long.
Okay.
And then it kind of widens out also in the
Because
back in
Roanoke
front
has
of
a
the...
huge parking problem already. People are parking on
No,
the
this,
front lots.
this has nice adequate
Okay.
parking.
Yeah, and it's
Self-contained.
all paved as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
If the construction was granted, how does the square footage compare with the neighbors on each side?
So I
It's a
actually...
little hard to tell with that aerial photo.
Yeah,
but-
I went on near maps and I looked at other aerial photos. The property directly to the north, that's 648 Roanoke, they did a rear addition that I think extends probably about 10 feet further than 644 Roanoke's current rear line of the house. So they did a second floor addition. I could pull the building department file and see exactly what the square footage is. But then I did some other aerials, and it looks like the property directly to the south, also the rear of that dwelling also butts out a little bit further than this. So I don't think it would be out of character with the sizes of the existing homes. And also the property to the north, that's a rental that has valid rental permits. 640 Roanoke has a valid rental permit. There are other 2-family dwellings to the north and also across the street. Most of them are pre-existing non-conforming, so realistically, if they wanted to come in for additions, they would need special permits as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Supervisor, any additional comments?
No, great. Just make sure that inclusion is included in the plan. Perfect.
So I did put resolutions into Minute Track. I just, they're in the queue to classify seeker and then to also schedule a public hearing. Not sure if those are going to be put on
Well,
for the meeting
I'm not
next
sure
week.
where in the process this change that the board is requesting would need to go in, so you probably would just need to clarify that, I guess, with Jeff. But
I'm
if it can be
assuming it
done,
would probably come up in, during the public hearing, and then before any sort of approvals, that would be built into the approval resolution as a condition.
Yes.
okay.
And
The
we could
board's
submit
comfortable with that?
affidavit or, you know, a statement from the property owner, it, you know, just out of the gate, if that's, you know, anything that
I
someone
think if
wanted
it's
to.
part of the condition of the
Yeah.
permit, that's
It's
fine. yeah.
enforceable,
Yep.
that's part of it, yeah.
Just for the intent.
I'd just be curious to hear from the town attorney whether or not that is, I mean, if we're granting a permit, can you limit towards who is renting?
Can we say
I
we
think
don't
it's-
want it to be a sober house?
Yeah, because the,
We
So
have.
I don't know legally what we could say, but I know my client.
My town attorney,
I'm
town
following you.
attorney's coming up, I just,
Hi.
so,
it's a.
You need to get in front of a mic, Eric. You need to
They'd
sit
like to
down
do
there.
an addition to an existing two-family, and the concern is that it, you know, could potentially become a sober house.
Which is not the intent, and we would agree to the condition.
So the board's looking to list that as an excluded use.
Okay,
Is
so we
that-
need to do.
Which
a
we
little
can
research
put
on that.
limitations.
What?
Eric, can you come to a mic so that the
Yeah,
supervisor
I
can
would
hear
need
you?
to do a little bit of research on that, is what I'm saying. Is if that is the specific condition that you want to put on this.
I think it would be covered under, of the criteria.
Yeah, I don't know that it would be.
Okay.
Okay,
All
so
right,
knowing that that's the board's request, maybe the town attorney's office needs a little time to review how best to implement that request.
Yeah,
So if that's the case, then maybe this resolution can't go in for the next meeting.
I'll see-
But I
I'll
defer to
see
the
it.
town attorney's office on
I'll
that,
see if I can come up
subject
with
to the board's
something.
thoughts.
Yeah, would we still be able to
I
classify
would prefer
secra?
that,
Because it would
that
change
this
secra.
matter, this is a critical, I don't need another sober home on Main Street.
Supervisor, they're just adding that, that condition doesn't have any bearing on the secra component of the application. So the request would be, as I understand it, to just move forward with the classification of the secra as a type 2 action. If the board's amenable, that resolution can go forward.
Okay, that's fine, if it's not gonna affect it, but we'll have the town attorney, relate that to us, great,
but
perfect.
are you misleading the client if the board is not gonna be in favor, right, to put the expense out for secret?
In what sense?
If the board is not in favor of
Eric, do you want this?
renting the facility to different, for a sober home or other aspects, by granting you and asking you to go ahead and begin the secret process, that's a costly
Well,
process
it's a
for you.
type 2 action, so no further environmental review is required. It's an addition, yes, 617, that section of secra, 617.5C, type 2 actions. 1 family, 2 family, 3 family, construction or expansion of those 3 items are specifically type 2 under secra.
So you're not gonna incur costs.
Yeah, and I mean, he wants to pursue this, he's very excited about it. The goal would be to get 2 great families in there, and not limit down to a single person or a couple, so we think it's a great contribution, you know, in addition, so he's ready to,
But to Councilman Hubbard's point, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if the guy sells the building in 5 years and the new owner makes it a sober house, then we don't want, we're looking into, to see if there's language in there that we can prevent them, because Riverhead has a lot of them.
yes.
Our fair share, to say the least.
No, I am hearing that, and it's actually kind of shocking, to be honest with you, so I understand your concerns 100%.
Well, we're not at all looking to put the town attorney's office on the spot. Sounds like maybe they need a little time to
Yeah, exactly.
additional
Let
time to
them-
review that particular component, and then they'll advise the board.
Yes.
Make sense?
good.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I would say that if there's any
Thank
other
you, Doug.
specific conditions that you'd be looking to attach to this,
Right.
let me know so that we can research those.
Okay.
That's the.
All right, great. So we'll await further information on that from the town attorney's office, and obviously we'll be in touch with the planning department.
Okay, yeah, just let me know as far as the secret resolution, and then
Great.
if you decide you don't want to schedule the public hearing, that's fine.
Yeah,
Let
I
me know.
think that's the client's bigger concern is just, you know, obviously timeframe and trying to proceed with the hearing, I believe it's the 21st.
Understood. Thank you so much. We
Thank
appreciate
you
your
all for
time.
your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. All right, and for our last discussion item today, which is matters surrounding possible improvement to Veterans Memorial Park sanitary system. We have our, one of our engineers, Ken Testa, here. Morning, Ken.
Good morning. How are you all?
We are great.
Thank you.
Mass exodus, I guess, huh?
Ken, what did you do?
Something you said, Ken, or what?
Everybody away.
Good.
Yeah.
It's
So one of the things we asked, Ken has been awesome working on a project for us for some time, is that there has long time needed is for restrooms up at Veterans Memorial Park, restrooms in the ball field area, restrooms where the dog park is and the pickleball courts, and the usage of the biking trail, and for runners, walkers, bikers. I am proud to say, leading into the conversation as well, is that we did get a report back again for the bike share program, and we are number one again in the county for the most rentals as at Veterans Memorial Park in the entire county. So this is the park that is actively used. And so restrooms are greatly needed. Ken worked on this project a number of years ago, 2004.
Yeah, I did a little bullet point for the history,
Yep.
going back if you'd like.
I'll leave it to you.
Okay, so this dates back to the original development of the plans for Veterans Memorial Park back in 2005, when the town commissioned a study and a plan to what the park should look like when it's totally built out in the multiple phases. That plan, which has pretty much been adopted by the town, and we're working off of that now, included 5 restroom buildings on it. There was a main restroom building, which is the one that we're looking at today, located at the east end of the parking lot, near all of the open fields. And that restroom was intended to serve all of the athletic fields east of the parking lot, where there's proposals for hockey and soccer and other events. It was also intended to serve the bike path, pickleball courts, the dog park, the picnic areas, and all the walking trails. To date, we don't have any bathrooms at the park yet. We never got past phase 1, so right now it's all portable toilets. So that was the first restroom that was proposed for that area. And the second one was for the ball fields, would have been a restroom and a concession stand. The infrastructure for that is in. We put in the grease traps and the manholes and the gravity pipe, because it wouldn't make sense to go back and rip up the whole site and do it later on. So we did all that, and it's all in place, but it's just dead ends right now. That was the second bathroom. The third bathroom was for a small amphitheater that's proposed for an area just east of the ball fields. There was a small outdoor amphitheater shown for concerts and plays and things. That had a small restroom associated with it as well. There was a fourth restroom proposed for a maintenance building that is proposed to be located behind the ball fields for buildings and grounds equipment and personnel once the park is built out. And the fifth restroom was for a small park manager's office, where a recreation department staff could maintain an office locally and have a bathroom. So there was 5 proposed. So in August of 2006, the town made application to the Suffolk County Health Department for permission to build a sanitary system to service all 5 of those bathrooms, whether they all be built at the same time or phased in, is probably what's going to happen. That was in August of 2006. In the same year, the Health Department responded back to the town indicating that they had a desire for the town to connect to the Calverton Sewer District, that since there's a sewer plant there, that they wanted us to connect these bathrooms to the sewer district. After an engineering study, we determined that that was not feasible at that time, because the sewer plant nearest connection was a mile away from where the bathrooms would be. And we had no knowledge at that time, and pretty much still don't, although we're getting close, to where the roads would be on the site and where all the gravity sewer pipes would be. So we didn't know if we ran a pipe mile to the sewer district, whether we'd be going under developable lots, under roads. It just didn't make sense to do it at that time. So we made application for a variance to the health department in November of 2006. We made application and we made a request to be permitted to build a sanitary system on the grounds that it was impractical and unreasonably expensive to try to connect to the sewer district. That was in November of 2006. In February of 2007, we received a response from the health department granting us a variance, allowing us to build one central sanitary system on the property, close to where the developable property is, where the subdivision is, and connect all 5 bathrooms to that one sanitary system, with the provision that when sewer became available in close proximity to the park, we would connect to sewer. And there's covenants and restrictions that were developed back then, that's signed by Phil Cardinelli and filed with the county clerk, that requires us to do that at such time that sewer becomes available. And that's gonna be when roads are built, we know where sanitary sewer manholes are, and we can just jump from our sanitary system maybe 1,000 feet and tie in. So the health department gave us that permit. That's where we ended, because we, pretty much ran out of money. We finished phase 1, phase 2 never started. So here we are now in 2023, trying to figure out, what to do with this one bathroom. So the one bathroom would serve that entire east end of the park. We made an application to the health department inquiring as to whether that variance was still in effect, because it's so old. So we made a request asking, A, is the variance still in effect, and B, is the original permit that we applied for still open, because it never got closed. It just stayed open. So after going back and forth with them a few times, and with the help of some folks in the planning and building department, we were able to get a response back from the health department that in fact the variance is still in effect, because we're no closer to connecting to the sewer district today than we were then. There's no roads been, major roads been constructed in that area of the park. So they said we could still build a temporary sanitary system, still on the conditions that we connected to the sewer district at such time that that becomes practical. They also said the permit is still valid. They're going to allow us to reactivate the permit that we already have on file with them, which was a blessing, because a lot of engineering and time and work went into that. It included the entire preliminary design of all the gravity, manholes, and sewer piping from the 5 bathrooms to the sanitary system. A lot of time and money went into that. So they did indicate that that's still approved. So the next step for us is to make application for a permit to construct. And that could be one or all of the bathrooms. In this case, obviously, it's just going to be one. So we sent them some information based on the original design, where the sanitary system would be. One of the conditions that the health department indicated was that the variance and the original permit is still in effect as long as we don't significantly change anything, as long as we don't move the sanitary system, because test holes were dug, and as long as we don't significantly relocate any of the bathroom buildings, which we don't intend to. So to that end, I sent them a revised plan showing a restroom building that would serve that end of the park, which I have copies to hand out. It has 4 women's toilets, and it has 4 men's toilets in it on opposite sides of the building, so that it's easily accessible from the from the athletic fields, and easily accessible from the bike path. So there'd be men's and women's on the east side and men's and women's on the west side. And I got a proposal from a company that has a national contract that we can ride on.
Is this what you sent over earlier, Ken?
Yes, you have that?
Yeah, so
Oh, okay.
everybody has it.
Yeah, and
We
the site
posted
plan
it.
that you see on the last page.
We posted it online for folks as well, and there's copies here for
Okay,
everybody in
good.
the room.
Cool. So this is what we proposed to, it seemed like it fit our needs and would service us. It could be expanded in the future, but it seemed like for the amount of people that are using the park, there are numbers that show you how many toilets per 100 people you should provide. Health department has, that kind of data. So we followed that for what's going on down there now, and we think this will serve us into the future. It's designed so that it could be expanded in the future if you would like. I think this is about 900 square foot. The original proposal was like 2,500 foot after multi-phase builds out to this bathroom. So we're doing the basic bathroom now to service everything that's down there now, and a build out of the fields. And it shows where the temporary sanitary, the last page has a site plan on it. That site plan is the original site plan of the original approval from 2006. It shows the sanitary system down to the bottom of to the south of the park parcel. And that site was selected because the design for the subdivision, industrial subdivision, has a road with gravity sewer going in, we now know, in close proximity to that site. So when sewer becomes available, this sanitary system would be abandoned, and we would put in a pump station and pump all the sewage into a nearest gravity manhole, which would go to the sewer district. We also got a preliminary verbal, but we have to see how it goes, once we make formal application, not to have to put in the more expensive type of treatment system, because the sewer district will do that to a better degree once we connect to the sewer district. So the health department sees that it's a huge waste of money to do that when we may be connecting within a year or 2 or 3 when we get down that road. So the next step for us is to apply for permit to construct. We have approval of the preliminary design for the 5 bathrooms, the gravity sewer system, and the temporary sanitary system. We have the variance that's still in effect to allow us to do that. Next step is the permit to construct. The permit to construct requires some detailed design and technical expertise that's a little above our ability in our department. So we're recommending that we retain the original engineers, RM Engineering, which did the original site plan for the park, did the original application to the health department. They have all the files. And because they have all the files, their proposal is only $25,000, or a little less than that, which to me is a pretty good price, considering what we're asking for, a detailed design and plans to actually hire a contractor to build this and get approval from the health department, because they already have all this information in their files. So that's, I think, why I'm here, because there's a resolution
Yes.
pending to
Which
transfer
we
some
want to ask
funds.
Bill to come up also, after you make your points, Councilman.
So just, what really happens, I've sat down with Legislative Krupski and we're requesting, any assistance from the county for funds for the bathrooms. I've sat down with Dawn Thomas, and she's gonna look at all different avenues as well to obtain. But the key component is when you ask somebody for money, the first thing they say is how much do you need, to get the project done? And I think that allocating this money to $25,000 to an engineering firm is going to formulate and calculate exactly how much money that we need to construct one bathroom and perhaps construct 2, 3, 4, and 5, and give us an idea overall what we're looking at, what the long-term game plan will be. The money, and so Bill Roth, I worked with him, and there is funds available left over from lighting projects, so we have the funds to do this, but there's no way that we can ask anybody else for assistance in funding unless we know how much we need.
And then we have a permit to construct.
You also have to
That's
consider,
fine.
and that should be part of when they do the
These
cost benefit
bathrooms are
analysis.
modular?
Ken, just one
Oh,
second, the
I'm
supervisor's
sorry, I
making a
didn't
point.
hear.
Go ahead, Supervisor, if you could repeat that?
Yes. We also have to consider when they do the engineering cost benefit analysis, we have to put down the cost on the maintenance, because this is going to be a long-term project with costs and products and possibly security, and again, they have to be cleaned every day, and so there has to be personnel assigned to that. So that should be part of the cost benefit analysis.
So, Ken, I have a question for you. Given the fact that we're looking at, hopefully sooner than later down the road, to put an indoor hockey rink with bathrooms and an indoor soccer and lacrosse facility with bathrooms, that would be to the south, right, on this particular drawing. Would they be included in those 5 bathrooms?
This bathroom is basically sized on 18 athletic fields. The way the health department does it with parks is they base it on number of parking spaces, because it's hard to predict what a hockey field is, how many patrons that's going to produce. As long as you don't have bleachers and attendantship, like where you have people coming in and serving food and there's bleachers or chairs, it's considered pretty much an athletic field. The proposed hockey rinks are considered equivalent to a,
But I'm talking specifically about the ones that are going to be brick and mortar.
that's probably going to require its own bathroom, but they could tie into the system very easily.
That's what I'm
Yes,
going with.
the
this.
system
Okay.
is very much expandable.
Beautiful.
It's 7,000 gallons. I thought you meant could those patrons use this bathroom? This
No,
bathroom's
no,
the
no,
size-
I'm
yeah,
talking-
no.
Each
this-
one of those facilities, I think, have plans to put bathrooms inside.
Yeah, you could
So-
pump from
Eventually.
that building into the sanitary manhole
okay.
at this building, and knowing that that's gonna happen, we'll size the piping when we design it big enough to take that load over to the sanitary system.
Beautiful, thank you.
Because even when those buildings constructed, they're still equally too far away from sewer.
Yeah.
It's just not
Yeah.
financially feasible at this point.
Ken, this would be heated for year-round use?
Yes, it's
As
gonna be heated,
opposed to like
yes.
at Stotsky Park where they get shut down?
Yes, what it has is, it's designed, as you see it, with radiant heating in the floor,
Okay.
and a heat pump heating system, which is very high efficiency. They're concrete pre-modular, like we did at Reeves Beach. They're virtually indestructible,
Right.
which is important. They're built for municipal use, and they come in 2 pieces. They're factory fabricated. They're shipped to the site. They're dropped on a slab that we would put down. We connect the utilities and the water's right there, because we ran water to the dog park. We'll tap electric off the line that we're gonna run up for either the hockey rinks or the soccer. Or if this happens first, I can run a line over from the ball fields. So it's a quick, quick turnaround. They come in and they install it all and they drop it, like we did at Reeves Beach. Reeves Beach was, a quick turnaround. The problem is the lead time on this stuff.
Right.
It's, it could take months to get this once we order it. We don't have to bid it because this company, Public Restrooms, participates in the same national purchasing consortium that the town has agreed to work with. So we get it at a significant discount.
And it's what we use at Iron Pier, right?
Reeves Beach,
Reeves-
yes.
Sorry, yeah, sorry.
And I agree with Councilman Rothwell that, advocating for the 25,000 shows any grantors or any other lenders or any other finances that we're serious about going forward with this. So I think that this is an important first step in getting to that end of the game. I really like the renderings. I noticed that they're handicap accessible.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
important.
Sure,
I
requirement.
really think they look sharp and
And we talked about that they all don't need to be radiant heat. We want to keep some year-round, but
Yeah.
if the baseball fields are generally not active during the winter months,
Those don't have to be,
those could be winterized, and we
Yep.
could be a little more cost-effective on some of them. So if there's 5, maybe 2 are open year-round, the others, in the summer months.
What's nice about
wintertime
this
heat.
is, once the sanitary system has to be built, whatever restroom goes in first, the
That's
sanitary system has to be built. So once this is done, it'll greatly reduce the cost of doing something in the ball fields. We already have everything there. We could get a modular concession stand restroom building, drop it on that slab we have there. We already have the grease traps and everything in, and we just connect down to the sanitary system, and so nominal cost.
And we have, and as you said, we have the money from some kind of lighting project?
Yeah, we have leftover funds.
There's money left over. The Little League field lighting came in, because we used in-house electrical labor on that. We came in, I forget what it was.
Hey, Bill? Hey, Bill?
40,000 less on that?
It's a no-brainer.
We have a little money left over from the cupola too. I don't know if you've noticed the cupola in Jamesport. I meant to send you pictures.
Great job.
Really
Looks
looks
great.
good, yeah.
Really
With the,
good job.
we got
Really
the ball,
looks
we got
nice.
the landing eagle back from pictures I got from the town of Stone.
Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. If there's $30,000 in one of the walking trails that Ray had said he's not using right now, he doesn't need it for a while, we can take it from there for these engineering costs, and then we'll figure out where we're going for a walking trail. So I
You
think-
got it listed as the LED lighting, though, from Stotts Ball Field.
What's that?
I think the resolution that you wrote said it was leftover lighting from the Stotsky Ball Field lighting project.
So let me check with Ray and make sure we're taking it
From the ARPA funds.
Confident that the money is available
We
when
had,
it doesn't.
we had 2 different projects, then he had said take it from one. I'll make sure it's the correct one we're taking it from.
Awesome. And then Supervisor, also Dawn Thomas is here. Dawn, can you just come up and see how necessary this step is in order to get funding to actually complete the project overall?
Hello, everyone.
good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Dawn.
Hi, hoping you're feeling good today. Yeah, so the great thing is that the engineering money is available. We can then use that document, once it's generated, to understand the complete project components and the cost, and then we can apply for funding wherever we can apply. So there's, DEC has some opportunities, Suffolk County always has some opportunities, and then we'll just continue to figure out where we can apply and use that document to support the application, which we can't really even apply until we know what the cost and the parameters of the job are, so that's essential.
Well, it seems like it was a long time needed, and this been in the works for some time, and I'm glad now it came to fruition. And again, I agree, we have to do the map and plan, see where it's going, and look at the costs, and it's all good stuff. And it's going to actually be, I think the location is going to be utilized quite frequently, and people need it out there, and it's all good stuff.
Yeah, this place is about to become a destination, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
In a good way, yes, very
We're
good
really
way.
trying to get into Forbes top 10 is what we're looking for.
I would just say that, just in
I
terms
only
of,
go for one, so we'll work on that.
people don't always equate athletic facilities with economic development, but we did a bunch of research a couple of years ago, and there are a bunch of different large facilities similar to this. And there's one in Germantown, Maryland, which is really just fields. It doesn't have a hockey. It has a basketball arena and a bunch of other stuff.
But that generated at least 13 million a year in revenue to the local community, and I think this would do even better because it's a bigger facility with more variety, ultimately, of options for athletes.
I totally agree with you, and and Nassau County has been very proactive of doing public-private partnerships with their land.
You know, you do
And they-
three-day tournaments for softball, you know, and then you have people staying in hotels, eating, you know, venturing out, going to Splish Splash or to Island Water Park, or, you know, we have the perfect opportunity to really do something great.
I think once you get lighting on the softball fields, that's gonna really blow up.
Yeah.
Because I know there's leagues out there that wanna use it, but some of the, you know, they don't like the fact that if they go late, they have to call the game. And the infrastructure is there. You know, the electrical infrastructure is there, the conduit's there, everything's in place. All you need is the poles and the lights.
We
And
need
that's all.
Verizon to sponsor it, and call it
Yeah.
the Riverhead Verizon Field, you know?
And once you do that, I think the ball fields are gonna blow up. People will be competing for time to use them, I think,
Yeah.
based on the inquiries we got when we were constructing them.
I have to thank Ken, you worked on this for months. I think maybe I've been a thorn in your side for a while,
Oh.
constantly calling and asking in front, but you've been forging ahead, working with the county, so you've been awesome. And I'm gonna thank Dawn in advance, because she's gonna get us this money.
We will.
No pressure.
Yeah, I love the
Very
timeline. I'd
best.
love to get a copy of that, you know, that this started in 2005. And
2005, yeah.
And
yeah.
we're finally moving the needle on this.
And the variance was quite a battle. It was
I
quite a
would
battle.
imagine with the health department.
Yeah, it was quite a battle. Do you remember
Yeah,
that?
well,
Yeah, do you remember? I mean, it
yes.
was quite a battle. They wanted us to connect it to the sewer district, and it was just, there's no practical way
It
to
was
do it.
something that we
Because
had
that's
to
where
deal
the
with,
rules are. If you have sewer district in the vicinity, you have to connect to it.
yeah, in the subdivision application for the Berman subdivision, which was not fun.
I'm glad it's still in effect.
Yeah.
Ken, thank you for all the
Thank you.
information. Thank you, guys.
Thank
So
you.
we all good to put this resolution in for the next?
Yes, I'm good.
move
Yes,
along,
I
right?
support it.
Sure.
Move it forward.
Awesome.
Good.
Thank
Frank's
you.
a problem, but we're all, the rest of us are good.
Thanks.
All right, so that concludes our open session discussion items. We'll go into now resolutions. Everybody ready?
Yes.
Councilman, you ready?
Yeah.
Just give me 1 second.
Yep.
Oh, lazy computer here.
Yeah, you know, I might tongue out. Write it down.
They just need a second to fire up the tablets.
I got it, thanks.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Thank you.
Resolution number 1, approve special event, Chapter 255 application for New York Marine Rescue Center, Paddle Battle, Long Island. Number 2, approves fireworks application for Baiting Hollow Club, March 4th, 2023. Number 3, authorize the supervisor to execute a license agreement with Racetrack Knott Street LLC to utilize runway at EPCAL. And just a note on that, we did amend the agenda this morning. That agenda's been posted on the website to include an executive session discussion about that very subject. So just a note for everybody that that discussion will be following the resolution today.
Okay.
Good.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Number 4, authorizes town clerk to publish and post notice to consider a local law to amend Chapter 301 of the Riverhead Town Code. Number 5, accepts highway superintendent's request for town board resolution to promote an AEO. Number 6, budget adoption for CP number 72303, Veterans Memorial Park Sanitary System.
Number 7 is.
Yeah, numbers are a little
Yeah.
strange there, but it should be number 7. Water District Capital Project number 82123, budget adjustment. Number 8, budget modification for Water District Capital Project number 82124. Number 9, appoints a call-in recreation aide 2 to the Recreation Department. And same for number 10, appoints a call-in recreation aide 2 to the Recreation Department. Number 11, extends bid for electric motor repair and replacement, including emergency repair for the Riverhead Water District. Number 12, authorizes town clerk to publish and post notice to bidders for police uniforms. Number 13, authorizes highway superintendent expenditures. And number 14, authorizes supervisor to execute an agreement with Civil Air Patrol. 15, approves the attendance of one police department employee to the DCJS MPC training. Number 16, authorizes the town clerk to publish and post bid for clean and televised sewer tributary to the Cranberry Pump Station. And I did confirm it's not televised as the way we're all thinking. It's apparently just some sort of internal camera.
It's not a TV show I'm gonna watch.
It's not going to be on Netflix tonight.
Really crap.
Yeah,
Yeah, Netflix.
it's not Netflix top 10, no. Number 17, accepts the resignation of a water treatment plant operator 2B. Number 18, approves request for a leave of absence. Number 19, authorizes town clerk to publish and post notice to consider a local law to amend Chapter 289-21 of the Riverhead Town Code. Number 20, authorizes the Community Development Department to apply for a New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation Water Infrastructure Improvement Act, WIIA, grant for infrastructure improvements to the Riverhead Water District. Number 21, authorizes the supervisor to execute an agreement with the Nassau County Police Activity League Lacrosse Unit for referee and umpire services and team fees for Town of Riverhead Police Athletic League Boys Lacrosse Program grades K through 8 for 2023 calendar year. Number 22, approves a leave of absence request. Number 23, authorizes attendance at judicial continuing education program. And number 24, authorizes the removal of all litter, garbage, refuse, rubbish, yard waste, weeds, noxious plants, grass, and/or rank vegetation in excess of 10 inches in height upon the premises known as 200-202 Meeting House Creek Road, Riverhead, New York, known and designated as Suffolk County Tax Map Number 0600-86-2-25.3 pursuant to Riverhead Town Code, Chapter 251.
Can you repeat that, Devin?
That last one? No, I don't think so. All right.
Can I just ask you a question, and just give me we have two requests for leave of absence, and I'm wondering why one person is noted as an employee number, and the other one we are posting the name. So what's the difference?
My understanding is that's the way PD does it. When it's somebody in PD, they post
Right,
the
so it's
number.
just
the employee numbers when it's a police officer.
Okay, so it's, okay, any other employee's name, I just want to make sure we're treating everybody fair, okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, so that concludes the resolutions. And in a moment, we'll ask for a first and a second to go into executive session to discuss the following. Personnel, Alyssa Zuckerman, Esquire, matters surrounding contractual agreement between the Town of Riverhead and the CSEA. Matters surrounding the hiring of an employee with Bill Rathar and Ashlyn Striplin-Tio. Matters surrounding the possible change in status of 2 employees with Reichel and Striplin-Tio and Rathar. And also contractual matters surrounding license agreement between the Town of Riverhead and Racetrack Knott Street with Town Attorney Howard. So that all said, can I have a first and a second to
So moved.
close the work session and go into executive session?
So,
Second.
All in favor? All
Aye.
opposed? So moved. Thank you, everyone.